Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So I kind of wanted to talk about the Pacers, the Houston loss and stuff like that. The Houston loss was bad. It was not good. Tyrese Haliburton was horrible, to put it lightly. And I kind of wanted to make this video to just I feel like reset our expectations on the team this year because obviously we made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. It was very evident that the team had a lot of things go their way to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And not that this team isn't capable of getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's just everybody they have to play against has significantly more talent than them. Now, with that being said, with the way the Bucks look, the way the Miami Heat look, the way the Philadelphia 76ers look, there's no better time than the present to go all in. I will say that. I think we're at a point where even with Tyrese Haliburton playing horrendous basketball, I do think that the season can still be somewhat salvaged. I actually think this season has the ability to be turned around. It's just, it kind of all relies on how Tyrese Haliburton's going to play. I've said this time and time again, and people continue to bitch and moan to me about it, and I don't understand why. But I've said time and time again that Tyrese Haliburton is the engine of our car. You know, if your engine doesn't start, your car doesn't go, and that's what we're witnessing right now. I've had people in my comment section even say that, we would play better with TJ McConnell as our starting point guard. I will say this, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst possibility, but I do not want Tyrese Haliburton's confidence wrecked more than it already is. Tyrese Haliburton, I believe, is an all-NBA player. We have seen it. We saw it last year, okay? Then a lot of things happened. We traded Buddy Hield. He had the hamstring injury. I've been very vocal about the idea that I thought he shouldn't play in the Olympics. Even though I thought it would be good for him, I thought it was something he should have just sat out of. Now he's dealing with back spasms, reportedly. Obviously, he's not going to admit to that, but, you know, all signs point, you know, my grandfather had a saying, if it looks like shit and smells like shit, it's a good thing we didn't step in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where, I'm at with Tyrese Haliburton. You know, he's got the cushion on the seat. He's got the the heating pad thing on. It's very obvious what's going on with Tyrese Haliburton. That he's having back issues and all this other stuff. And a lot of people are ready to give up on Tyrese Haliburton. I'm not. I feel like I'm the only person at the moment who's not ready to give up on him. I understand players go through bad stretches. I understand players go through a mental thing. Players have down years. It happens. Trae Young, perfect example. It's just the idea, like, there's a lot of, guys go through down years where they just have bad years, and then they come back the following year and they're good again. So I am not on the trade Tyrese Haliburton train. I'm not even on the bench Tyrese Haliburton train because if the team plays bad now, obviously the plus minus numbers would support it, that actually benching him at the moment would be better for our team. But I just don't want to kill that confidence. I just don't. I still think he's a phenomenal basketball player. I do think he needs to change up his what do they call it? His bag a little bit. He's settling for 3-point shots. He's not attacking the basket. I've been saying it for years. I think Tyrese Haliburton needs to develop some type of floater. And we haven't even really seen that this year. He's kind of just jacking threes and passing the ball, and that's what he's doing. And even in the game where he went off during the Knicks, or against the Knicks, he did a little bit of everything. It wasn't just shoot threes. No, he was getting to the basket. He was getting guys open. There are even times where he passes up wide open layups, which I will never understand for the life of me. But I'm not ready to give up on Tyrese Haliburton just because I actually believe in the dude. I think he's a promising young talent, and I think, I honestly, these are the moments that I feel like fans really need to get behind him rather than tear him down. He's still a young guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not even 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure Tyrese Haliburton is 23 years old. The idea, this is one of those moments where he's going to find out, how much does Indiana really love him? You know what I'm saying? Tyrese Haliburton is, let's see, he is, 24 years old. I mean, he's still a very young player. And I feel like he's still at a point in his career where it's I feel like that's one thing I'll give New York fans. New York fans will stick behind players even if they suck. You know what I'm saying? For example, Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the New York Giants, and even Eli Manning for a very long time, who I thought was mid as fuck for a very long time. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Eli Manning won the Giants a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And Daniel Jones, even though Daniel Jones is horrendous, okay, there are Giants fans out there that go to bat for this man tooth and nail, okay? And Pacers fans, I feel like, don't do that for Tyrese Haliburton. And Tyrese Haliburton is one of those guys that I feel like at this point in his career, at the current point, not like he's washed or anything, because I don't think he is, but this is one of those moments where I feel like fans need to get behind him more than they need to say, "Oh, fucking trade him," bench him. He shouldn't have did this. He shouldn't have did that. And I agree with you. There are things he did I think he shouldn't have did. Playing in the Olympics was one of them. But I understand you only get that opportunity, once in a lifetime. And at that point, he got to be on a team with LeBron James and Stephen Curry, who are probably going to be their last Olympics. So I understand why he wanted to be there. Also, the knowledge that comes with being around players like that, I understand it. I do entirely. But Tyrese Haliburton needs to play better. And I feel like, kicking him while he's down doesn't help. I don't think it's one of those things, when you're playing bad, you're playing bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be taught. If you play anything competitive at any level, when you're not playing well. Okay? I play pool every Tuesday night. I just got moved up a skill level, okay? Because I'm playing out of my fucking mind. But on nights when I play bad, okay, I know what I did wrong. I understand that, this led to our loss. Me not playing defense on that shot, is the reason we lost. Me going for a win when I should have played defense was the reason that we lost. And that comes with anything. In basketball, in football, in baseball, whatever, what have you. Okay, people know when they do something on a professional level, when they do it for a fucking living, they understand when they fuck up. And Tyrese Haliburton understands that. Okay? And I will say this. I think the expectations for this year maybe need to be tweaked a little bit. The expectation should be, at this point, let's just see what our young guys are. Okay, let's see what Moses Brown is going to be. Let's see, what Jarris Walker and Benedict Mathurin become. Let's see if Obi Toppin gets even better. Obi Toppin has looked phenomenal. And I still can't believe we traded, a second-round pick or 2 second-round picks for that guy. And he's one of the best bench players in the league. But I think at this point, we need to just have our expectations for this season as this is our season to see what we got. Obviously, Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman being injured sucks. We have a lot of injured guys. Honestly, a lot of guys are getting minutes. Quentin Jackson's getting minutes. Quentin Jackson looks fucking phenomenal, by the way. He reminds me of TJ McConnell, and I love that because I feel like there's a future after TJ McConnell, and Quentin Jackson is a guy that reminds me of that. He had a phenomenal game against the Houston Rockets in his first start ever. He scored 24 points, I think shot 10 of 12 from the field. I mean, what more could you ask for from a two-way player, right? But Johnny Furphy's getting minutes. Injuries suck, but you're getting this opportunity to see what our young guys are capable of. You know what I'm saying? So That's the one benefit to it, is like you get to see more Jarris Walker, you get to see more Johnny Furphy, you get to see more Ben Shepherd, even though a lot of these guys are Ben Shepherd's injured and all these other guys, even though I think Shepherd's going to be coming back. It's just the idea, like, this is the flip side of everybody being injured, Aaron Neesmith is injured, and we have Andrew Nemhard, we have all these guys that are injured. So at that point also, I'm kind of like, yeah, like, we should be performing better than we are, but we also have a laundry list of injuries. So I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt. I think the season can be turned around. I think Tyrese Haliburton is actually going to break out of this slump at some point. I don't think he's going to continue to play like this forever. I just don't. I understand fans have a tendency to overreact. And I get that entirely. You want to win, you want to see your team win, you want to see your favorite player perform. I get that. But I am going to say this. I think Tyrese Haliburton's going to turn it around. And if the front office goes all in on somebody, I don't know who that somebody is. Setting the Pace just uploaded their podcast talking about the Joel Embiid trade. I have my own opinions on that, but it's just the idea, like, they even said, like, Brandon Ingram's available. I think this team is going to do a consolidation trade at some point. Brandon Ingram's not a guy that I would be mad at. Do I think he moves the needle for us? I don't know. I don't know how much he moves the needle for us. Personally, the Bucks are on a 4-game win streak. If Giannis becomes available, he's the player ideally I would like us to go after, even though Siakam has been playing out of his mind. Siakam is shooting like 46% from 3, 15 games in. Siakam has been phenomenal. And you know what? I'm going to say this. If Tyrese Haliburton can just figure it out, right? Like, that's why I'm not ready to give up on this. If Tyrese Haliburton can just figure it out, and hopefully within the next week or two, right? If he can just figure it out, with the way Siakam's playing, even with all of our injuries, obviously Miles Turner's come out and said that, like, he hasn't been the best locker room guy. There's maybe even stuff going on in the locker room we don't know about, okay? But it's just the idea. Winning, there's a saying that winning cures all things, and I feel like that's the case with the Pacers. I feel like if we start winning, it's going to fix a lot of problems. Winning cures all problems. And I even think, because honestly, at this point, with the way this team's performing, if Tyrese Haliburton doesn't start playing better, I don't think Miles Turner is going to come back. We are playing so bad that it's actually astonishing. Like, there's twice already this season that we haven't scored more than 100. I think it was a couple times this season already we haven't scored 100 points, which is uncharacteristic for a team that led the league in offense, a historical offense at that last season. I think teams are starting to figure Tyrese Haliburton out, which. Granted, he's a good player, but his bag is very limited. If you force Tyrese Haliburton left, and teams are figuring that out, if you force him left, he doesn't even try to do anything. Like, he doesn't try to go to the bat. He's not confident in going left. So, these are things that I kind of hope he figures out, and fixes about his game. And teams are figuring that out. Teams are figuring out that if you force Tyrese Haliburton left, you essentially neutralize him as a player. And, that's on him to fix. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but my expectations for the season are not championship level. Even though, like, my expectations are not up here, even though this is the year for them to be up here because of how bad the rest of the Eastern Conference is playing. Okay, like, yeah, you have Cleveland, who is playing amazing, and Boston, who's playing amazing. But outside of that, okay, I kind of think, like, the rest of it's wide open, if I'm being honest with you. I think the rest of it's wide open. I think anybody could finish in the top 3. Even New York. New York is a team that looks like it's all starters and no bench. And honestly, that's what helped us in the series against them last year beat them, So, they're already at a point where they're playing guys 40 minutes a game. Thibs is already playing guys, like, running guys out the fucking gym already. So, it's just the idea. Miami doesn't look great. New York doesn't look great. Philadelphia looks like a train wreck. The Bucks look like they're starting to figure it out. But, you know, even some of the bad teams in the East, like Charlotte, like I just watched Charlotte play Detroit last night. That was a nail biter. Like LaMelo Ball was going crazy. Brandon Miller sealed the game in overtime. Like LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller combined for 73 points. You know, I was watching that on NBA TV last night. So it's just the idea. I think expectations need to be reset a little bit on the Pacers, at least temporarily. If Tyrese Haliburton turns it around, which I think he is going to, then we can start having those discussions again about, okay, what's the next step for this team? Like, now that Tyrese Haliburton's turned it around, like, do we do a consolidation trade and try to get ourselves a really good solidified wing player, which I think we need to do regardless if we're winning or not. You know, I feel like we're a team that's really good. It's just all our players are undersized. All our really good players are undersized guys. And honestly, I hope the team keeps Quentin Jackson around. Also, like, he's a guy that I was very impressed with in summer league, and you know, now that I'm seeing him in the starting lineup for the first time against Houston, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, he's there's something special about Quentin Jackson. He's willing to dive on the floor for balls, like. You know how they say, like, you can tell if a guy's got the juice or not? Like, Quentin Jackson's one of those guys I look at, I'm like, yeah, he's got the juice. So, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.